Hi, everybody. Welcome to Sama. I'm Derek Mazzoni. Thanks for being here. We do a live stream and a recorded stream focusing on music that has a transcendent quality to help people through to help people through bad times, to celebrate good times, and to amplify and elevate artists from all over the world. I've been doing this for a long time. I also do a show on KEXP. It's a radio show that has a video aspect to it, which is how most people know us here in the world on KEXP through our video channel. But for a long time, I've been playing music from all over the world. It's something that has moved me, and anytime I got a chance to turn people on to some new music, it's been a highlight of my life, obviously, since I've been doing it for almost 30 years. So tonight, or today, wherever you may be, we're going to be spending some time with a South African guitarist by the name of Buttery. And he makes really stirring and amazing music on his guitar, and also in collaboration with artists from all over the world. We're based in Seattle, so I know that he played with Dave Matthews. He's our neighbor, just up the street. Not exactly up the street, but you know what I'm talking about. Same area code. And also Pussy Machasela, who I've had on KXP. And we have a mutual friend in Derek Ripper, another phenomenal South African guitarist. He has a new record out. Guy's been spending quite a bit of time in India, and he's just released a new record called One Morning in Gurgaon, which is a neighborhood right outside of Delhi. We're going to see a little bit of that, and then we're going to hear about the record, hear about life, share some stories, and as always, share some music. Enjoy. Hello, Guy.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going great. Beautiful work. You are based in South Africa. You're in KwaZulu-Natal, in the northern part of South Africa. I just discovered this about an hour and a half outside of Durban, and pretty close to where Ladysmith Black Mambazo was from also, which I love quite a bit. Guy, how have you been?
All good. Can't complain. Yeah, because of the whole lockdown situation here, I decided there was no need for me to be too close to an airport anymore. So I've moved out to a farm, currently building a small studio, and been working pretty hard in the studio, kind of on a whole lot of archival projects, a lot of projects that I always wanted to finish up. And yeah, it's been great. It's been a very productive time for me, if I'm honest. So can't complain.
Nice. Just stay healthy.
I'm doing that.
And don't get sick.
Yeah, I mean, out here, I'm socially distanced by nature. So yeah, it is what it is.
Tell me about this record. It's beautiful. I just played it on my show, literally Tuesday, and yesterday, and it was stirring. The reactions were phenomenal. It was recorded so well too, and it has this beautiful flow. I've gotten tons of emails and social media posts on it. Tell me how it came about.
Well, it was all completely by chance, really. I was scheduled to do a series of concerts throughout India, from the north to the south, and had connected with the tabla player Muhammad Amjad Khan.
Mm-hmm.
In a roundabout way, I was bringing back some tabla skins, some drum skins, for a friend of mine in Cape Town. And he was kind of the go-between with the skins, and then we got talking, and it turns out he was just the most ridiculously amazing percussionist. And I then said, hey, will I come back? Maybe let's try and see if we can do something together. Because I was going to India quite a lot at that stage.
Uh-huh.
And he said, well, I'm coming back, let's do these concerts. And I said, well, you don't by any chance know a sarangi player? Because the sarangi, this sort of Indian box cello, it's a 43-string bowed instrument. It's for me the most heavenly sound on the planet. And also what they say is the most similar to the human voice. And he said, well, I know a fantastic sarangi player. So we got together and I flew into Delhi. We had a concert the next night. I slept that night. They were coming to rehearse for about 4 hours. We had about 4 hours, and I thought that'll be fine. We can get something together. The first concert was quite a small thing, and we could just improvise quite a bit. And then Delhi traffic sort of killed us. And we had
it's funny.
It's not funny. We had about an hour in which we literally just kind of hung out and we shared a chai and we chatted a little bit about the music and went into the concert with no rehearsal.
Mm-hmm.
And after the first 10 minutes, I was like, oh no, there's some magic here. So immediately, though, after the concert, I was just sort of floating, and I thought, no, there must be a way that we can try and capture this. So I just tracked down a studio in Delhi, and we had one morning where everyone was free before I flew up to my next concert.
Yeah.
And it all happened in one improvised session, really. Everything was one take. The one tune on the record I'd never heard before. The only time we ever played it is what's on the album. And it's my favorite piece. We play the Rag Yaman. And just such amazing guys, such incredible
That's the one
musicianship. Ah, you played Rag Yaman. Nice.
Yeah.
Great. Good on you.
Yeah, no, it's stirring. It's stunning. That's awesome. And, yay, way for being productive. And B, way to create beautiful music and sharing it. So let's watch a little bit of this. Let's see. This is the longer version that you sent. So we're going to watch this for a little bit, and then we'll chat a little bit more. Okay.
For sure.
Buttery on Summer. That is gorgeous.
Thank you kindly. Those guys
Really,
are just amazing.
Really beautiful. How the hell do you do that?
Thanks, Derek.
How do you, you know, how do you put it together like that? I mean, these aren't instruments that often play together, and you know, there's a lot of guitarists. You know, I know a lot of guitarists, as do you. And there's a thing. Guitarists are great, but it's the thing they do. This isn't what they do. This is like, what are you doing? But you make it good. You make it sound good.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. But I think the credit lies a lot more with Amjad and Musa. I think that for me, I brought a lot of the compositions to these performances and to this recording.
Mm-hmm.
And I was still very much operating in a similar way. For them, I think there was quite a reach. I mean, there was the one important thing in the Indian classical music tradition is that there's no harmony. There's very little harmony. There's a suggestion of the root note and the fifth sometimes. So, and a lot of the music that I create is quite harmonically quite dense. So there is quite a leap of understanding in a way to kind of move through the sense that there are chord changes and that there is sort of a transition. Like that piece that you just played, not to get too technical here, but it's a bar in 5/4, it's a bar in 4/4, and then it moves to a 6/8, and then it ends in an 11/8. So rhythmically, there was a lot of stuff that they had to learn, but what was so amazing about working with those guys was how intuitive it all was. And how uncalculated it was, and how just on the money they were. I mean, just incredible musicians. It was just. I remember sitting with the headphones on in the studio, just going, "Oh my God, I cannot believe I'm in the presence of these masters." You know. So a lot of credit to them. Amazing people, amazing musicians. Yeah.
Oh, so let's talk about a couple of things. You should be on tour with this. I mean, this would fill quite many halls because it's stunning. You can't do that right now. So, how are you surviving? How are they surviving?
Well, yeah, good question. I mean, I find myself doing a lot of studio work. I do a lot of parts for people around the world now, more than I ever did. A lot of session stuff. I mean, last year I put out 5 records.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a lot of stuff that I was sitting on, a lot of stuff that needed time to brew and stuff that needed work. But for me, it's been very much a recording process. I mean, I had a concert cancelled now for the US. I was supposed to be in the US in October. I was supposed to go back to India in November. I was supposed to be in Italy 3 months ago. I mean, it's just... I'm doing a concert next weekend, which has been postponed for the 4th time. So it's just the world we're living in. And, it's been challenging, but at the same time, I used to spend 5 to 7 months of the year on the road, and I think now being quite in one place, I maybe realized that I was a bit of a homebody. I don't think I knew that.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been making space. I'm living on a beautiful farm out here. I'm growing vegetables. I'm making music in the day, and trying to keep sane most of the time. But it's been easier than I thought, if I'm honest. So
okay, yeah. Good. Congratulations. That's that's not this. But what's up with them? How are they? Are they healthy? Are they?
They're healthy. I mean, Delhi particularly got hit real hard. I mean, I understand that they have been doing some smaller concerts. I see they're both doing a lot of kind of recital home classical concerts, the Indian classical concerts. I think that they both do quite a bit of studio stuff as well. But it's been hard. There's no way around it. It's been tricky.
One of the reasons that you don't know the full story of Sama, but we started because we live in Seattle, so we're far away from New York and LA and everything, and we're not getting as many artists coming through. It's a fabulous city. I love it, but it's also not on. It's off a little off the beaten path a bit. And then COVID hit, and then we're like, okay, but we should stream. So we started streaming, and one of the things that came out of it is that I get a chance to actually spend time with you, share your work, but also share, talk about our shared humanity. With everybody out there. It was like, this is one of those moments where you're like, what are you talking about? What's COVID? It's like, no, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and we
Sure,
are all sharing
sure.
this one moment together. And this is a good way because music is an opener. Music opens people's hearts,
Sure.
alleviates fear, helps people deal with bad times, and celebrate the good times. We're going
Yeah,
through more
beautifully
bad times
said.
right now.
Absolutely.
So let's see what we can do and how we can tell that story a bit more. Could you play a song for us, Guy?
I can indeed. I can
Thank
indeed.
you.
Instead of setting up a whole bunch of things here to create different effects, I'm actually going to use this amazing thing called the Tonewood amp, and it just clips onto the back of the guitar. And all
Get
the
out of Dodge.
yeah, and all the effects you hear are coming out of the guitar. It has a little foot on the back of it, and everything is. You can hear that
Nice.
reverb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So have you been spending your time a bit in, shall we say, noodling with new stuff that you might not have done it before if you didn't have the time to do it?
I have, definitely. I mean, I've even just finished recording another whole project, which is a story for another time, but that's
Okay.
in the pipeline. Yeah, I've been quite busy in this space and in other spaces virtually as well, recording. So
All right. So I'm gonna put you up solo.
Great.
Does this song have a title? Is it an improvisation?
this does. This is a track from the record. It's the one piece I feel that kind of works as a solo tune. A lot of the pieces were more suited for ensemble, the three of us in this case. But yeah, it's a tune called Kiabat.
Okay, and also go.
Yeah. Oh, it's a Kiabat, which is a Hindi word for. It's for. I'm trying to think of like it's kind of like when someone has done something amazing or someone has done something. I suppose a similar word in English would be like bravo. You know, at the end of a.
What's the South African word for that?
Oh, geez, I don't know.
Bravo.
I'll have to think about it. Bravo. I can't think of anything appropriate. That's for sure.
That's fine. I'm throwing stuff at you here. Okay. Guy Buttery. But the thing that I wanted to say is the record is out in September 10th in the US here. Yeah. I was talking about it. I was like, God damn, it's not out yet. Sometimes I have to do that. But hey,
That's okay.
It's a price we pay. Guy Buttery on Sama. Celtic music.
Great. I'm going to pop my headphones off.
It's beautiful.
Thank you kindly.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, what got you into this?
Wow, big question.
Yeah.
I guess that people maybe get a bit frustrated when I say this, but I think I was always a music lover and a music listener first, and maybe still to some extent. I mean, I'm certainly a musician. I've done this professionally for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm just obsessed with music in every shape and form. I mean, my brother was very influential. He gave me a lot of amazing records that just transported me. A lot of
Like
South
what?
African music.
Okay.
There's an amazing trio called Tananas from the Western Cape, from South Africa, and they just blew my mind. A guitar player named Steve Newman, a Mozambican bass player and singer named Jita Baloy, and a drummer based in California now, a guy named Ian Herman. And they worked with an amazing Buttery player from Durban. So I grew up in Durban, and Durban has the biggest population of Indians outside of India. So there was a lot of Indian music, and obviously the culture was very much present. And there was an amazing Bansuri flute player named Deepak Ram. I mean, those records just transported me. And in the guitar world, I was very much into, I mean, I was blown away by Michael Hedges, an American guy who perhaps you know.
Yeah, I do.
And I mean, there was just, yeah. And then I was listening to a lot of Indian classical music, a lot of folk songs. I listened to a lot of reggae and dub. I was listening to a lot of Celtic music at one point. I was kind of going in as far as wide as I could, and I think it aided my own process in terms of not about emulation, but just in terms of kind of ideas in music. And so many rich, deep cultures have so many foreign or exotic ideas to me, and the idea of amalgamating them and bringing sounds together has always been kind of at the forefront of everything. And I think sound was always very important to me, more than just the music. The sound was, what is it that they're trying to do within the texture and within the colors of the sound? What is it that you're trying to shape?
Yeah.
So
The difference, though, is especially with guitar, and especially I didn't know that you were listening to a lot of Indian classical music at the time and everything else, but it's the ability to tap into your heart. I'm gonna get a little hippie and woo on you right now, so I apologize.
No.
A lot of musicians can't do that. They can, you know, if I play up a guitar, I can go, you know, it's like there isn't. I'm not able to go and through that.
I think that you are. I disagree with that. I think that it's like a practice, and whatever the practice is, there's a moment, I think, where when there's enough time spent with the instrument, there's a moment where the instrument and the person there's very little separation, and I think the means and the ability to express oneself becomes easier, particularly if you are diving in.
But the difference is that, you know, I must compliment your balls. I mean, you're around these amazing classical musicians, and we all know the amount of work that these artists have gone through to even freaking clean an instrument. You know, there's like stories I've heard, from masters, and the fact that you're like, I can do this, I can bring something to this, and I will, you know, as a gift, as not even as a peer, but it's just like, I can't even say it's your ego or anything like that. And I say balls, like I get crap from my wife about that. I was like, what do you mean balls? It was like, you know, where it's just like, you just feel like, you know, hey, I'm here, and my stuff is good, and you should listen. And like, you know, there's a part that's like, but like, no, you're here, and it's there in this record especially. I've been listening to your stuff for a while, and when I was talking to Derek Ripper, he's like, yeah, it's good. It's just like, but to see this, and for you to be able to go like, I am now giving you a part of me, and finding a way to combine these two parts of a very different. The world is complicated. India is incredibly complicated, and you're actually combining these things and turning it into something which doesn't take away from the uniqueness of each part, but creates something really, really wonderful. Like, this is a stupid
I
analogy, but if you ever had Korean and Mexican food together, they're amazing. They really are. It's like
I'm
there's a thing
surprised to
that's here
hear
right
that,
now.
but
But you're like, this is a stupid analogy. But so many times the way I need to explain my love of music through food, because everybody loves food. And some people are like,
sure.
why do you like this music? Well, this in food. They're like, oh, I get it. Let me go explore this now. But you make something really good.
I
And really,
appreciate that. I
and I'm not just
appreciate that.
blowing smoke up your ass or anything like that. It's good because I listen to a lot of music from different parts of the world. And I'm a little bummed out because I thought we'd get through this. Get a freaking vaccine, please, people. So we could have these kind of performances here because
Sure.
I want people to experience. This is great. I appreciate people watching, obviously. Thank you. But to be in a show with the acoustics of the room and to see and to hear, like, that the fingers on the strings, and especially with the sarangi, my God, that is. We had Laka Khan a little while ago from Rajasthan. It's
That's
just like,
fantastic.
what, and people don't. They need this. They're going to need this. They
Sure.
need this now. They're going to need this more in the future.
Sure.
So
And
to
I mean,
have
there's insanely healing properties there, and also not to get all hippie on you, but I mean,
get hippie.
yeah. I mean,
love
I
South
was
Africa.
ill. I was ill for about 5 months. I spent about 5 months in bed with an unknown disease. No one knew what it was. It was. I came through it. It's a long story. But the singular thing, I went to so many doctors, and the singular thing that pulled me through was music. And that's there's people can say whatever they like. I know what was that healed me. And I was spending sometimes 10, 12 hours a day, mostly listening to an amazing singer named Kishore Amonka, who I just absolutely love. And mostly Indian classical music, but I was aware of the body relaxing. I was aware of myself focusing in on the parts of my body which were not well. And just going back to what you're saying about people in a room, there's something so massive and there's something so ancient about that as well. As humans have been, in ceremony with music for since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
And I think acknowledging that, and I mean, I only hope that we can do this again sometime. It sometimes feels very distant, but I just really hope that we can get out and do that again, because there's such magic to be had in concert, I mean, I remember I saw 2 concerts, if you don't mind. I saw Zakir Hussain with Ustad Sultan Khan, and I remember leaving the room as if there was no gravity. I was completely transported. And I also had the same effect I saw Tumani Diabate, the kora player, and just completely otherworldly for days afterwards.
Yeah,
and I was changed from those experiences.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, I feel you. The first show that I ever promoted on a radio and here and met, and we had this huge concert, was with Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan.
Oh wow!
In
That's
his
amazing.
prime, and it was a huge
God.
show, and everybody still talks about it right now. There was just like,
Wow.
what happened? What just happened? Like, I was sitting, and then where am I here? And
what year was that?
That was 95.
Okay. Yeah. He was amazing.
He was working on Dead Man Walking with Sean Penn and Eddie Vedder. Eddie's here, Pearl Jam, and so one thing led to another, and it was like
amazing.
So ever since, I'm like, more of that. Let's do
Let's
hear another song if you got it, Inya.
I actually don't have it set up for anything else right now, but I'm happy to chat with you. I could noodle something, but I think
no, we're good.
Yeah,
we're good. We got that, which is important, and to have that in. So a couple of things. I don't want to get overly political, but I can't help it in here because I have artists from Haiti. I have artists from Brazil, and South Africa's going through some shit right now. You're on a farm, put away, but it's like we had 4 years of a very complicated and difficult political regime, shall we say?
Yeah.
And so nobody here feels like, oh my God, that would never happen in this country. Bullshit. It happens everywhere. But it's always interesting to get a sense of like, okay, when I first came to South Africa, Mandela just became president, and it was
Oh, wow.
huge. There was the joy, it was everywhere, and it's complicated, obviously. But what's the vibe?
I think it depends who you ask. I think that's important to say that. It's very complicated. I feel like the number one issue in this country is corruption. I think corruption is the thing that is not aiding the poor. That is causing situations where, for those of you who don't know, there was a huge looting fiasco here about a month ago, and various parts of this particular province got really hit quite hard. Buildings burnt. There were some ecological disasters as a result of it, and a lot of businesses closed and will not open again. Big businesses, small businesses, and the looting went on for about 3 days. And it got quite intense, where there were tankers in the streets. The communities were all sort of armed at different exits and entries of the point. It was very intense. It was warlike. It was unlike anything I've seen in my life. It was very intense. And I think the situation is, I personally think that corruption has a lot to do with it. I think that there's a lot of people who really struggle to get by every week, every month, every day. And I think that there's a lot of funding and finance that goes missing regularly. Last year there was 523 billion rand. What is that in dollars? Give me a sec. Divided by 15. Billions of dollars.
Billions of dollars.
Yeah. Billions of dollars that just went missing. And this happens regularly. And I think that if the money was well used and placed in the hands of people that really need it, this country would just be sailing. But unfortunately, an age-old story.
Power. Well, we hope for the best. It's a beautiful country. It creates some of the most vibrant and phenomenal music, and I think so. Yeah. And it's also, Africa is gigantic, obviously, and incredibly complex. And when I was in South Africa, it's that one country is incredibly complex, and it is
absolutely. We've got 11 national languages, 11 official national languages, not dialects. Yeah. And as a result, quite an amazing melting pot of so many cultures. And as a result, once again, incredible music, incredible art, incredible crafts of all kinds in this country. And I'm well aware of that when I travel elsewhere. Yes, there's amazing places with incredible history and incredible culture and incredible creative outlets. But South Africa is really quite special. Maybe I'm biased, maybe I'm patriotic, but
it's magical. I mean, from Durban to Cape Town to Joburg and beyond, it's just like it's stunning. Incredibly gifted with natural resources and education, and has gone through a lot. People know, we say South Africa, there's people know of it. There's a lot of stuff there. It's not like what is that, where's that place? So it could be one of those, like, the future is Africa, and it could be a cornerstone to that future.
I hope so. I mean, there's just there's so much here. I mean, there's so much. I'm in the continent at large. I've been fortunate to do a lot of concerts and travel through the continent, and there's just so much, and so many wonderful humans, so many beautiful stories, so much richness.
Perfect. Well, we look forward to having you here, obviously.
And, I've never been that far north. I was in Portland last January. I was doing some concerts in Portland, but I've never been any further north than that.
See, that's what I'm talking about. You get to Portland, and you just don't. And that was killing us. It was like, why Portland? I mean, come on. Oh, I love Portland. I love going down there, and it's a beautiful place. It's a wonderful place for 30-year-olds to go to retire. I've had some of the best coffees and ramen I've ever had in my life. In Portland, you can get really specific and get really good at one thing.
Sure.
But it'd be nice to have you up here. It would be nice to have a manifestation of the record. I'm forgetting it. One morning in
Gurgaon.
Gurgaon. I was
Yes.
thinking Gregarian. Gurgaon. I would love to have a manifestation of that here. It looks like you got some funding, so maybe there'll be some funding to come and do a tour. There's a significant South Asian population as well as South African population here, especially around here because we have a tech sector. So it's dramatic,
Yeah.
and the food's good. So let's try to make that happen. But right now,
I'd love that.
You know,
I'd love that.
enjoy yourself, stay healthy, stay sane, and keep making music and keep sending it to us. Buttery,
Fantastic.
thanks
I'll do
for
that.
being
Thanks
here.
so much for having. Thank you so much. Such a privilege.
Oh, you're the best. Okay, be well. And I'm going to
Take
close
care.
out with a teaser so people know and Expired. Once again, September 10th, out on Riverboat, and it will be available on Bandcamp. Obviously, you should be buying your music. Are you making vinyl? Do you know?
Not of this particular release, not with no touring site.
Yeah, I know. There's
Who
no way
knows?
to get that out. Gotcha. Okay, all right. Be well, be safe, and we'll catch up soon.
Take care. Thank you so much. That was awesome.
Awesome.